what's up you guys? My name is Laura and my TBR is out of control. And it's been out of control since the pandemic. It was always out of control, but I used to read less, so my TBR was less because when I got a new book, I could read it immediately or add it to my stack of maybe 8 to 10 unread books. The number's over 100 now, and we're gonna go through my physical TBR. And we're gonna look at all the books that I am bringing into 2024. The problem with all these books is I don't remember what they're about because I either bought them on a whim, like Parable of the Sower, because I know I liked Octavia Butler's writing, or it's been so long that I just forgot. And this is already gonna be way too long of a video that I'm not going over these descriptions. And hopefully there's no way, like I know me, there's too many books coming out next year. This entire TBR will not be gone next year, but I want to make an extreme effort to either DNF and unhaul these books or read them so that this mess does not come into 2025. Like, if I can narrow this down to like 20 by 2025, I would be happy, which would mean I don't know how many books this is because I think my unread TBR is around 130, but that includes Kindle books, that includes audiobooks, and it also includes 2 books from Aardvark that I haven't received yet. My November box is a little late because like everybody else, I wanted to read The Reformatory and it got backlogged. So this is all the books on my physical TBR, mostly in order of when I obtained them. So like the oldest book on my TBR, I don't even think I'm ever gonna read. Am I gonna get rid of it? Also probably not. I will probably, let me order this. No! Immediate problems. That's why you don't stack books with the mass markets on the bottom. Okay, so the book that has been on my TBR the longest, and I will possibly never read, which means I kind of just need to commit to keeping it off my TBR and just putting it on my shelf or unhauling it, but I think I want to keep it. And that is The Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer. I got this in a work white elephant 2 jobs ago, and I think it was like 2015 or 2016. It's one of those classics that I just feel like I need to at least attempt at some point. But it's huge because it's 2 books and it's intimidating. And I typically don't actually like reading classics. So this may just end up moving to my shelves. I haven't fully decided. Then the rest of these are 2020 moving forward. So that is one good thing. We're at least only 3 years old. But we have Going Bovine by Libba Bray. This is the only Libba Bray I haven't read yet. I also think it's going to be my least favorite Libba Bray. It is about someone who gets mad cow disease and they like turn into a cow or something. It's very weird. And I mean, Libba Bray is always kind of a little weird. This is like extreme weird. So I've been kind of putting it off because I'm afraid I won't like it. But if her new book does not come out next year, this is ending up at the top of my list because I appreciate that she takes her time, but my God, I miss her writing when I don't have a new book coming out or in between books. I guess she's been working on this other book for a while, so it's been coming out. It's just, you know, I can appreciate she's not an annual author, but I wish she was, you know? Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I don't know what this is about. I bought this when I liked YA contemporary more, which I really don't like anymore, or at least not consistently. And at the time I was a much bigger John Green fan, which I don't dislike John Green. His books are no longer something that I'm gravitating towards. So this is one that I anticipate that I will probably just unhaul, but I haven't committed yet. The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman, because no, I have not read his Dark Materials and everyone says that's a crime. I've tried a couple times in my life. I've never really made it past chapter 1. So I am committing to trying this series in 2024, probably. Someone Who Will Love You in All Your Damaged Glory by Raphael Bob Waksberg. Raphael Bob Waksberg. I bought this because he was a writer, I believe, on BoJack Horseman, and that is one of the best shows I've ever seen. I mean, in general, but also with its discussion about mental health in a way that wasn't just explicitly talking about mental health. I thought it was really, really interesting. And in case you were unaware, that is from BoJack Horseman. That is how much I love that show. But I also love that it's not explicitly obvious that it's like a cartoon TV show reference. Like, if you know what it is, you know. And if you don't, it just looks like an owl. Now I've got both cats. Sitting on the floor is a wild idea. Then we have Every Other Weekend by Abigail Johnson, which I believe is about two kids who have divorced parents, or at least one of them does, and every other weekend they get to hang out. That is all I really know. It is YA contemporary, which again, kind of not my vibe anymore. But at some point I do think I'm gonna kind of round up all my YA contemporary and just kind of try a chapter, see what happens. Bring Holly Home by A.E. Radley. I went through a big phase of reading a lot of A.E. Radley books because she at some point has written Swan Queen fanfiction, which if you don't know, is the pairing of Regina Mills and Emma Swan from Once Upon a Time, and I am a diehard Swan Queen shipper. All of her books that I've noticed are variations of that in print. It's a May-December romance, specifically a May-December gay romance where one of them is a single mother. And there's one series that is very explicitly Swan Queen fan fiction that she rewrote enough that she could publish it, and that is the Flight SQA series, which I love. I thought it was a beautiful trilogy, and I've been reading a lot of her other works, and the problem is when you read a bunch of them in the row, they're kind of a little too similar for me to kind of want to keep reading them, because it's kind of like reading the same characters in a new story, but they're not the same characters. So this is a duology. I only have book one and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I also know when I get around to it, it is one that I will enjoy. It's just not the right time for it. Then we have two Daphne du Maurier books, Rule Britannica and Don't Look Now. One of these I believe has, oh, you know what? I bet it's on my Kindle. Anyway, I had read Rebecca in 2020 and I thought it was fantastic. And then at my used bookstore, I found more Daphne du Maurier and I kind of just bought a bunch of them. I don't know if I will actually read these because like I said, I don't really love classics other than Rebecca. So I don't know if I loved Rebecca or if I liked Daphne du Maurier's writing style. And so I have like 4 of her books. I think the rest are just on Kindle. So we'll see. Then we have A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. I know nothing about this other than it is by V.E. Schwab and that a companion series is coming out now, which in an unfortunate turn of events means if I get into it, my covers won't match anymore. Lovely. But I loved Vicious, which is one of the only things I read by her. And then then I basically read nothing else. But I'm really excited to read this trilogy, and I think once I actually sit down and do it, I will actually blaze through it. But I am actually really excited about this one. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Then we have Midnight at the Bright Ideas Bookstore by Matthew Sullivan, and we have Sarah's Key by Tatiana DeRosnay. Both of these actually were gifts from a book club I'm in. We did a little book exchange, and we have a lot of interest in historical fiction, particularly World War II fiction, which I think is what this is. And people say libraries remind me of them, which is really A, a high compliment, and B, a logical reason to give this to me. So I feel terrible that I have not yet read these because I hate not reading gifts. But I am who I am, and I am a mood reader, if nothing else. In tandem with A Darker Shade of Magic is Vengeful, that I've never read. I bought this almost immediately after I read Vicious, and then I never read it. So, yay. But now that book 3 is coming out, I think next year, I am hoping to read books 2 and 3 close together. So I am now kind of holding off on this one until book 3 comes out. Then we have Girls on Fire by Robin Wasserman. This was a mystery book from my local bookstore, or like a blind date with a book. The one downside to my blind date with a book is that they just tell you the genre. They don't really tell you anything else. So this was just like fully, I just wanted to see what they did. Then we have A Blade So Black and A Dream So Dark. The 3rd book of this series is coming out this year. Is it out already? I don't know. I haven't read it yet. I want to get to this quickly though, because if I like it, I want to buy book 3 to have them all match. And if I don't like it, then I can just unhaul it and make somebody really happy. Then we have Jadefire Gold by June C.L. Tan. I got this from Fairy Loot when I was a member for like 3 months. Their books are beautiful and I've read none of them, so I had to cancel my subscription because I just realized I was collecting pretty books, but I wasn't reading them. And at the time, and kind of now, I don't read a ton of fantasy, which is a lot of their focus, so it wasn't really working out the way I wanted it to, but I do love that it's so pretty. Then we have Younger by Pamela Redmond, which I got this for Christmas the year that I binged the entire show, probably 2020, because what else did we do in 2020 besides sit on our couch? And I don't know that this is necessarily going to be good, but it's pretty short, following a woman who lies about her age to get a job, and then she has to just kind of continue to pretend that she is significantly younger than she is. And at least with the TV show, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief because there's no way anyone believes that that woman was 20. Like, Sutton Foster is gorgeous, and I would argue she looks younger than her age. She didn't look 20. And, you know, ageism is a thing. I don't, like, that's not what I'm here to critique. I'm just saying I don't believe anyone would believe she's 20. That's all. Then we have City of Thieves by David Benahoff, which is another World War II historical fiction. And we have The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling, which is a vampire story that I also got from Fairy Loot. It was an extra in the box. So I have no hard feelings if I don't like this, because this was just purely randomly given to me by the company. And my last 2 Fairy Loot books are Year of the Reaper by Makia Lucier, I think. It's another sprayed edges. It's pretty. I don't know what it's about at all. I don't think I've actually ever read the inside jacket. Oh. That should tell you how much I've opened this. It has a signed book plate. And the last one, which I think is possibly the most beautiful book I own, is Only a Monster Can Kill a Hero by Vanessa Len. It's got purple sprayed edges, but like, look at that. Absolutely stunning. And it's got the pretty end pages. It's also signed. Like, even if I don't like this, I don't see myself getting rid of this one. This is just absolutely stunning. Then we get into Book of the Month, where I continue to sign up for book subscriptions and then rarely read the books that I pick out. Got True Biz by Sarah Novak, which is about either a deaf child or a child of deaf adults. Either way, it is about deaf culture, and it seemed really interesting. Part of the reason I haven't read that one actually is because I keep trying to get my book club to read it, and it just never wins. Then we have Breathless by Amy McCullough, which just seemed like a winter thriller. I actually am kind of on the fence about whether or not I even want to read this one. It was kind of a random pick. And kind of like everybody else, I have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. And I do really want to read this. It is, again, one I keep trying to push off on my book club, and it's not happening. We don't pick like normal people. We spin a wheel. There's only 4 of us, so voting is just kind of hard to do. So we pick by randomizer, and I never win when I put in my literary fiction. But then when I put in Shark Heart, I win, and everybody hates it. And it's the best book, but everyone hated it. So they're probably glad I don't win. Then we have Acts of Violet by Margarita Montemor, which is by the author of Una Out of Order, which I read in 2021. And all I know about this is that it has something to do with magic. I actually got a solicited ARC for this, and it came in a really cute package with playing cards and like so much cute stuff, and shame on me, I have not read it yet, but I really want to. Oh, did I keep the thing in here? Oh yeah, okay, it came with like a flyer. That's how I know it's about magic. The 10th Annual Candlelight Vigil in celebration of Violet Volk. And this has nothing to do with magic, so. I do think there is something about like magicians, not like magic, but that was not what I thought it was, so that's embarrassing. Then we've got Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. I, at one point, wanted to read everything this man has ever written because I loved Percy Jackson. I do enjoy a good middle grade story, but I don't know that I actually want to buy everything that he's ever written. So I'm kind of debating unhauling this and then just kind of doing Rick Riordan through the library. But I also now need to finish Percy Jackson now that there's more in that series. And I need to read, like, what is it, The Trials of Apollo? Like, I kind of want to read the ones that are directly related to Percy first, and then branch off into the other genres. Then there is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. This is the last Octavia Butler book I own that I haven't read, but because I know it's a series, I've been kind of holding off because series are intimidating because you kind of want to read them all in one go, and I don't have the rest of them yet. And I know enough about her writing to know that I will like it. So, Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen, which I mostly bought because I found this at a used bookstore. Like, who got rid of the stunning edition? It was still in the plastic wrap when I got it. I since have gotten rid of that, but it came with, oh, it's an Owl Creep edition. So it came with this, which I think is why it was shrink wrapped. But it is absolutely stunning. Oh, and it's also signed. How cute. So I've been really interested in mermaid fictions recently. I haven't read any yet, but like that's a topic that I want to get into. So when I saw this gorgeous edition, I couldn't pass it up. Then we have My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I know it's about sexual abuse and grooming, I think. Then we have The Woman in Amber by Agathe Nasule. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. This is a World War II fiction. Nope, not fiction. This is a World War II story about a Latvian woman who was captured by the Germans and then by the Russians and experienced a lot of horrific things. Then we have Magnifique Noir by Brianna Lawrence, which I mostly got because it had such a fun cover, and it has like, you never get books that are for anyone above the age of 5 that are illustrated. And it had just beautiful artwork. And I don't even know where I saw this. It took me forever to find a copy. And there is a sequel, but it's very dense. And, oh, okay, it's got some fun stuff. Then we have The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson, which is book 4 in the Truly Devious series. And I have just learned book 4 and book 5 are standalones. I have been putting off reading book 4 because I thought it was the start of like a secondary trilogy. But apparently this is a standalone story, and book 5 is a standalone, or at minimum is a duology. Book 6 doesn't exist yet, but I'm under the impression it is coming soon-ish. Then we have Lone Woman by Victor LaValle, which is a historical horror about a woman who kind of has like a Pandora's box type situation and seems to be responsible for killing people accidentally. And she moves to Montana, I think. She moves to Montana to kind of start over and like just be this like field woman to escape her past. Obviously, I'm sure that's not how that's gonna play out. And then we have the Camelot years of The School for Good and Evil, books 4 through 6. And I'm only committing to reading book 4 because the School for Good and Evil trilogy I thought was a good time. I think they were a bit too long and it went on for too long. So depending on how I feel about book 4 will depend on if I finish the series or if I just unhaul this half. I do like The School for Good and Evil enough to keep the series. I don't know if I care about those particular stories or not. Then we have Foxglove by Adeline Grace, which is the sequel to Belladonna, which I read this year, and I really, really enjoyed it. The only reason I did not follow up with Foxglove immediately is because Wisteria is coming out in 2024, and I would rather read books 2 and 3 close together. So I am intentionally holding off on this book until 2024. Then we have Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling, which is a dystopian society story, which not only do we not get a lot of anymore, we definitely don't get it in adult fiction very often. And I feel like there was this huge moment for dystopia after the Hunger Games, and then everybody ruined it because they were bad, because they didn't understand what made the Hunger Games so good. And then it died. So I am always excited to try a new dystopian to see if anyone can capture the magic of Hunger Games. And I don't know that I've really heard anyone talk about this, so I don't know if it's good or not, but I'm hopeful. Then we have Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, which I don't know anything about this other than the octopus has a perspective, and I thought that was really fun. The cover's really pretty. We don't like books with Jenna because this is a non-removable sticker and we are feuding. I actually refused to buy this new because of that sticker, and I got it used, and I have somebody's lovely inscription, and that is both sad and cute. While Justice Sleeps by Stacey Abrams. Didn't know that politicians also wrote fiction novels. I thought that was really interesting when I heard that Stacey Abrams, the Georgia politician, was writing a murder mystery. I think it's a murder mystery. It's definitely a mystery. And it's a political thriller, I think is actually what's classified as. But I just thought it was super cool. So I found this at a used bookstore and I'm excited to try it out. And she's actually written a couple other things, so who knows? She may end up being one of my favorite authors and a politician that I actually don't hate. Then we've got The Couple Next Door by Shari Lupina. I have never read by Shari Lupina, and I feel like she's kind of got mixed reviews on BookTube, that's where I'm at. And I just was curious, wanted to give her a shot. Then this was another gift, and one I probably maybe won't read. The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. I just don't like classics. And you might be wondering, why did someone gift you a classic? Don't they know you? No, they didn't. And I don't mean that cruelly. We hadn't talked a ton before they gave it to me. And it was kind of like you like books, here's a book. And I think it was one they enjoyed. So by that logic, I really liked it. We don't talk anymore. It's not important. It was a very sweet gesture though. Whoa. And A Year Too Late, I Have Spare by Harry. I found this in my little free library. I was gonna borrow it from my sister, but then I got a free copy, so that was better. And if you don't know, it's about Harry, the prince, or ex-prince? What's his title now? Bring Me Back by B.A. Paris. I read one B.A. Paris book, whose name I have forgotten, and it was really cheesy. But it was intense cheesy. I couldn't stop reading. Like, I had to know what happened, but I won't say it was like a great book. And quite frankly, I think by the end that girl needed to have more self-respect because it's a book. Maybe it was a real life reaction, but like, it's a book. Don't do that. And so that one, and then I also have The Therapist by B.A. Paris, which I think I've heard more about this one, but she is someone that I kind of think maybe a new popcorn thriller author for me. Then we have Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. Either way, I read something else by her at my friend's request, and Jennifer Hillier is now one of her all-time favorite authors, so I kind of need to catch up and see if I agree. I'm curious about this one, but I'm super, super curious. I think it's called Wonderland. It's got the creepy circus vibes, and I am all about a creepy circus book. We need more of those. Happy and You Know It by Laura Henkin, which I read The Daydreamers, I believe, earlier this year, and I thought that was a really fun book, so I'm really curious. This one is about, I think, motherhood, which I probably won't relate to as much. Not that I could relate to being a child TV star, which is what The Daydreamers was about, but this just seems like, she just kind of seems like she takes a well-known, like, I don't know how to say like a well-known topic. That seems like such a dumb sentence, but it's like people are kind of always curious about the lives of former TV actors, and The Daydreamers touched on that, and like our obsession with reboots, and like what does that mean for those kind of has-been actors. Like it's an interesting dissection, even if it's not real. And I feel like this is kind of going to go into, I don't know for sure if it's motherhood, that the song just makes me think it is, but the idea of essentially toxic positivity, which I think maybe that's what, about a struggling young musician who takes a job singing for a playgroup of overprivileged babies and their effortlessly cool moms, only to find herself pulled into their glamorous lives and dangerous secrets. So I'm kind of wrong, but it still sounds interesting. And then I've got Hooked by Sutton Foster, How Crafting Saved My Life. And I admit, as much as I just said I loved Younger and I really enjoyed Sutton Foster in that, I would not call myself a Sutton Foster stan. However, my friend passed away earlier this year, and this was one of the books in her personal collection, and her family knew that I liked Sutton Foster and gave it to me. So it will always be very special to me for that, and I am a little bit curious. So I will probably read this. Oh, look how pretty that is. And she signed it. Sutton, not my friend. That would be weird if my friend had signed it. Although now I'd be very happy if she had. But in reality, that would have been kind of weird. But it's just about, I think, her relationship with crafts. which is cute. We're getting to the end. We've got Ever After by F.T. Lukens, which I read Ever After or Happily Ever After by them, not early, I think I read it last year. But the covers are colorful, they're gay romance, they're very cute, they're very wholesome, they're just a cozy, is romantasy the right word? Like, I feel like those are always epic, and this is not epic, it's cozy. And I'm excited. Then we've got The Long Game by Elena Armas, which is a romance about soccer, which I thought was interesting. I am surprised this was my aardvark pick when I got it, because I also think I got 2 books that month, so like I really went out of my way to pick this one. Unless maybe I wanted a backlog book, so I had to pick one. That does sound like me. Anyway, I'm so hit and miss with romance that I'm willing to try so many, even if they don't work. When I'm Dead by Hannah Morrissey, which I found out was a series after I bought it. Oh, I ruined the bookmark. Was it a good one? It's not. And I think it's like book 2 or 3, which was super disappointing that was not clear. So I'm unsure if this is one of those ones where you're like following the detective and it doesn't matter where it is in the series, or if it matters. So I need to look into this. But if they just fully sold me book 3 in a series without making that clear, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Then we've got A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand, which I guess is the only like official sequel to The Haunting of Hill House, which I've never read, but I did watch the show and I loved the show. I tried reading this in October. I couldn't get into it. So I'm trying again because at the time I felt like I was slumping, and I don't force myself through books. So I was like, I'm not enjoying anything, I'm gonna stop reading one. I was like, I need to read something faster and fun. So I'm still gonna give this another try, but I'm actually on the fence if I even like it. Then we have The Twyford Code by Janice Hallett, which I loved The Appeal, which I read in 2022, I believe. And she always writes in like a mixed media format. This one is mostly audiophile, so I actually think this will be a better audiobook, but I am a sucker for a physical copy. The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I really wanted to read this before the musical movie came out. I definitely believe I have failed at that, but I was gonna say I'm gonna try and get to it this month, but I have 4 books on my list for the rest of the year, and I don't think I'm gonna force myself past that. So there is a chance this will get read this year, but I'm not pushing it. Then we have What Happened to Ruthie Ramirez by Claire Jimenez, which I believe Ruthie goes missing, and then like one day people see her on TV and they're like, wait a minute, what? So it's unraveling what the heck happened when she disappears at 13 years old and comes back later. The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I really got into the Indian Lake trilogy. I got really into that in the past 2 years, so I'm really excited to try other horror from him. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. I mostly love the cover, and I was kind of hesitant about buying it when I saw that the book 2 cover was not the style, but now I know that a style of book 2 looks like this, so I'm committed to buying it. And you know, hopefully I like it. Like that's the real, doesn't matter what book 2 looks like if I don't like it, but whatever. Let Us Descend by Jessamine Ward. This was a book of the month pick. It does seem interesting, but lately book of the month has been hit or miss for me, so I kind of just picked it for something to do. Not that I need it, clearly I could have held off, but this one was getting a lot of really good reviews, so FOMO. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I have not read any Abby Jimenez, and like I said earlier, I am always willing to try a romance, and I've heard a lot of good things about both her and this book specifically. And even though it's super beat up, it was from a little free library, so that means it's well loved. The total reverse of that, Just Like Mother by Anne Hetzel. The cover really got to me, and I honestly bought this on a whim when I was in a bad mood, and shopping makes everything better. But it's a weird horror story about mother-daughter relationships, I think. And if not, why is this the cover? Lilith by Nikki Marmory. I mostly got this because it is about time that the Bible got fan fiction retellings the way Greek mythology does, and I am here for this. Justice for Lilith. Maybe. I haven't read it, and quite frankly, I haven't read enough of the Bible to really know how much Lilith even talked about in the Christian Bible. I honestly don't know. The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea by Maggie Takuta Hall. I bought this book because I saw the cover of book 2 and was like, that is gorgeous. But I'm not gonna buy book 2 until I've read book 1. So I did. I'm really excited to read this, and this would actually take precedence over The Color Purple if I add something on to the end of this year, just because I'm so curious about this one. And then in a weird twist of fate, not really, Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn. I haven't read Legendborn, right? But I have it on Kindle, and that is a real reason I bought this, because I am convinced I'm gonna like it. And I've decided I want the series in hardback because I'm just convinced I'm gonna like it. So I bought this one, and how I'll read book 1, I'm not sure. I mean, like, I could read it on my Kindle or I could buy it. But I am also kind of hoping someone buys me book 1 in hardback for Christmas, because I did throw that on my list. Like, is it weird that I want to just rebuy my Kindle list in physical? Yes, it is weird. But my Kindle list, I've really only ever spent $1 to like $4 on any of those books. I don't pay full price for Kindle books because I don't read them in the same capacity. The author deserves full payment for their work. This is not me saying Kindle books aren't worth full price. They're just not worth the price for me. I would rather pay for the physical copy. Then we have the Mary Shelley Club. Who's this by? Goldie Moldavsky, I think. I bought this on a whim from a library sale because I read Lord of the Fly Fest and absolutely adored it. I thought it was so funny and I had such a good time that I was like, for like $2, why the heck not, right? Notes on an Execution by Danya Kakafka, which is about someone on death row and like the people surrounding him before he dies. I think it's the family of the people that he presumably murdered. Kind of just how everyone is reacting to this man being murdered for being a criminal. And I have a lot of feelings about the death penalty, so I'm just really curious about the conversations this book will have. And the last book that I have in my hands is A Kingdom of Sweets by Erica Johansson, which, as far as I understand, is a Nutcracker retelling or something in that vein. It seemed Christmassy and fun, and I will absolutely not be reading this at Christmas time because of who I am as a person. And the last 2 books that I own but don't have are The Reformatory and the Ashley Winstead book that everyone is currently giving negative reviews to. So that's great. Had I known that, a month ago when I ordered the book, I may not have picked it, but I haven't read an Ashley Winstead, and now I'm debating if I should let that one be my first. I also have a package coming that is 3 mystery books for Christmas that will be here on Saturday, but I don't know what that is, so those don't count. But if I open it before I publish this video, I will let you know what they are. Okay, so before I actually got around to editing this video, I got more books. I have a problem. So first, I didn't bring them over here, but The Reformatory and Midnight is the Darkest Hour finally showed up, so I do officially have those, and they officially won't be read this year. I am debating starting The Reformatory, but I'm kind of like, I want to finish the year on guaranteed good books, and I'm kind of in a reread mood, so that's probably what I'm doing, but like, maybe. And then, my little free library had The Trials of Apollo, and I hope, yeah, okay, it is book 1. So I actually was really excited. Even if I don't end up keeping this, like I might read it and then put it back in the little free library. But like I was just talking about how this is the series I wanted to read. So I'm really excited that I found that. And then I got this box, which is from The Novel Neighbor, which is located in Missouri. But I follow them on TikTok and they do these mystery boxes. And this is a Christmas themed book box. And I treated myself for Christmas. Nugget, we've already ruined the chair. Do we need to prove that you hate me? So I clearly haven't opened this yet. I don't know what's in here. So it's 3 books that are Christmas themed and I think stuff from their store. I don't know. It seemed cute. It seemed fun. And I've been debating for 24 hours. That's it. It took me 24 hours to decide to open this. But I was like, do I want to save it for Christmas or open it now? And like they're Christmas themed, so I have the opportunity to read them before Christmas, but I also kind of don't care if I read them at Christmas or not. Like that's not a huge deal to me. I have decided to open it just to add to the list of, I did not count how many books I'm bringing into 2024. I do have the number somewhere, but it's got my Kindle and audiobooks included as well. And I'm kind of hyper focusing on my physical TBR right now. I think I already mentioned that. Okay. Oh, they're wrapped. Oh, this is cute. Okay. There's a lot of tissue paper. Okay. So this is the cutest thing ever. I may have been wrong about the trinkets. But they wrapped it in paper. Like, I mean, you can see that the books exist. But that is so cute. Oh no, there is something. We are thrilled to present to you for the first time the Yuletide Surprise Box Christmas Edition. This is a very special project for us and it means so much to be part of your Christmas season. Oh, okay. I do have one of these books, which makes sense now that I think about it. It's The Kingdom of Sweets. So that was a faux pas on my part. I probably should have checked the books beforehand. So that's a Christmas fantasy. And then the Christmas romance is called Wrapped in a Bow. And then the Christmas Guest, which I think is the thriller, I'm assuming. Unless Kingdom of Sweets is actually a thriller. But I don't think that's the case. Okay. So first, it's a little red truck carrying a Christmas tree. I did not realize, okay, it's a car, but I didn't realize that was like such a meme this year. So that's cute. So that will go with my pin collection. And, oh, a cute little magnetic bookmark. That's so sweet. Okay, so Wrapped with a Bow by Lily Vale, which just looks like a super cute Christmas romance. I might actually pick this up now. As a successful film liaison, Alicia Rowe has her heart set on her heart set on one thing and one thing only, putting her hometown of Piney Peaks back on the map. And everything about that opening sentence screams cheesy Hallmark movie. So this just looks, I don't know why I thought my cats weren't gonna like play with this crinkle paper, but this looks really cute. We have, oh, what is this? Oh, I mean, it's generic, but another bookmark. The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson, a novella. So this actually could get read this year. I don't know. I'm like adding this to the books I'm taking to 2024 and saying I'm going to read them this year. I have not read have I read Peter Swanson? I don't remember. What has he written? 8 Perfect Murders. I did read that. I don't remember what I thought about it, but I know I read it. So this is cute. And then Kingdom of Sweets, which I already have. It was already shown. But this one doesn't have the Book of the Month tag. So I actually probably will get rid of my Book of the Month copy and keep this one instead. But I have to see which copy I feel like feels better. But I am actually really excited about this book. Not hyped that I got it twice, but that's on me. Like, they did give you the option to be spoiled on what the books were, and I, in a million years, never would have said to myself, I have a Christmas fantasy book at home. I did. But like, I'll be honest, I don't remember if I got my Book of the Month box first or if I ordered this first. Not that it matters. But anyway, that was really cute. And if I like all 3 of these, I will probably do one of their mystery boxes again. They do them, you can just buy a mystery box from this company. But this is the first time they've done seasonal. They had a winter themed one and a Christmas themed one. I opted for Christmas because that's my personality right now for another 2 weeks, or maybe 1 week by the time this goes live. Anyway, that is officially all the books in my current possession, not counting any gifts I get for Christmas, which may or may not happen. I did put a couple on my list. I try not to order books from Amazon. So sometimes I put books on my Christmas list, and sometimes I put links to bookstores on my Christmas list and say, buy the book from here, please. Don't buy it from Amazon. And then they're like, well, we're just not going to buy you books. And I'm like, is it really that hard? But there are a couple that I have asked for that may or may not come through. We'll see. So those don't count. Anything I get for Christmas is mentally a 2024 purchase. It's not even a purchase if it's a gift. But and I guess technically also I will be buying Heartstopper Volume 5 when that comes out, but I'm also going to be reading that immediately. So that doesn't really count because it will be completed before 2024. Anyway, these are all my books. I have a problem. We're not ready to address it. But hopefully, when I revisit this at the end of 2024, most of these will be gone. And by gone, I mean on my shelves. Okay. I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye.